All right, back at it. I know it's been a few days. Feels like it's been a few months. I'm excited. I'm glad I took a few days off to, I guess, recalibrate myself, kind of get the mentals right. I've been balls deep in this business, as you guys might know. We've been enjoying it. I've had sort of like I don't want to call it a crisis, like a mini crisis, just about everything, basically. So I decided might make sense for me to take a few days off and kind of recalibrate, get my mind right, stuff like that. So I didn't quite do that, to be honest with you. I just kind of beat myself up for taking days off, which I guess is counterproductive and defeats the purpose of taking a day off or a few days off, whatever. I feel better though. Now I feel good, so I'm gonna get back into the groove of making videos. Obviously, that 30-day streak was just kind of bullshit, I guess. I'm frustrated with myself because I didn't, keep my word. I'm gonna continue making videos. Obviously, that goes without saying. I hope it does at least. It's only been a few days. It hasn't been a few months, like I said. It's felt that way. But honestly, we've been ripping sales calls for the past few days, and it's tough. It's definitely tough. Cold calling is not for the weak, not for the faint of heart. I know there's mixed opinions about it, but people are still doing it. So there must be some appeal. It must be working, right? I mean, how else are you going to reach your clients? It's difficult though when you're trying to convince somebody that they need something that they don't even know exists, or they don't even know they have a problem, right? And you're trying to show them that they have a problem and sell them the solution at the same time. So, and granted, don't get me wrong, we're not going on cold calls to close deals, right? We just kind of want to get some discovery calls and see how we can help these companies. But the blue collar industry as a whole is a difficult demographic to reach. So it's an underserved market, to be fair, right? And the pain is there, the challenges are there. So if we find the right guys who are open to the technology, there's opportunity. So as far as our business is concerned, those people exist. They're few and far between, and that's a challenge. With the cold calling, what we're really doing is filtering. I try to reframe my mindset around it. We're not trying to, I mean, yeah, obviously on every call, we'd like to book a discovery. We're sort of filtering through the people who might be interested in a service like this and might not be. And obviously, lead qualification goes a long way with stuff like that. Just making sure you're calling the right people and not wasting your time, right? Like some of these people are, small companies who have been doing it for 20, 30 years. And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of asleep at the wheel type of thing. And even if we could improve their services a little bit and save them time and money, it's like, is it worth the hassle of, I guess that learning curve or that curve in which, the onboarding process and stuff like that. I don't know, right? So a lot of people are kind of happy with where they're at as far as their businesses are concerned. So, more power to them. They feel comfortable with the money they're making and stuff. But there are some younger, plumbers and blue collar people who we're trying to go after who, are new to the business, new to the industry, and are trying to make a name for themselves and create every advantage possible to grow. So we've had a couple good conversations. We're getting there. I think we're on the right track. It's about consistency and discipline. And the thing with cold calling and sales, it's like a few things, right? It's all about up here in so many facets, right? It's us internally, how we approach everything, the tone in which we speak, the mentality, detaching from the outcome, going in there to find pain points and provide value, provide solutions to these companies, and being able to deal with rejection. Obviously, that's a massive skill that we're developing. So, and then on the other side of it, it's like, how do you conversate with these people to convey that value in a short 20, 30 seconds, whatever it might be that you have? And not only that, but sometimes you got to get through the gatekeeper and the owners don't want to, give you the light of day. And I get it, right? If I'm a business owner, I would try to sympathize and say, okay, these people are trying to make money and this and that. And some people are scammers, which is also doesn't give us a good rep. So, it's hard when these people get 20, 30, 40, 50 phone calls a day from somebody like me, right? So it's like, how do you differentiate yourself in that sense too? And that's what I talk about up here, right? The things you're saying. In the industry, they talk a lot about pattern interrupting. And pattern interrupting is basically where you say something that your typical salesman wouldn't say, like, hey, my name is David from XYZ company. I want to sell you. Like, nobody gives a seriously, nobody gives a what I said. For example, I was on Instagram and I saw this guy and I tried it today, actually. I was like, hi, my name is David. I'm on my deathbed and my last wish is to speak to the business owner. And I think she patched me through, actually, so it worked. But it's things like that. You got to get people to laugh and stuff like that and break up the rhythm, right? Because like I said, people have heard, hey, I'm a salesperson from whatever company. And it's redundant. They're tired of it. It's not new. It's not refreshing. So how do you differentiate yourself and stand out? That's what we're learning, we're really building thick skin, man. We're building thick skin, and we're trying to have fun with it. So that's where my focus has been, just to get back on track. I'm going to talk more about sales and stuff like that and what I've learned, because I think me being in it and trying to build my own business and build our business, it's good maybe for other people in the same boat to see that and be like, okay, I'm not alone. Like, these are challenges everybody faces and stuff. So, but yeah, ultimately I kind of wanted to just hop back on here and talk about the direction of this channel. I'm by no means giving up on it. I enjoy making these videos. I just needed sort of a mental reset. I feel like, one, I think I have ADHD. That's self-diagnosed. I'm kind of just, my head's spinning. It's all over the place. I'm getting pulled in 100 different directions with everything I want to do and achieve and accomplish in life. And I feel like the world's going to end tomorrow and I just got to do it all. And it's not the right mentality to approach things with, because, they say slow and steady wins the race, which may or may not be true. That remains to be seen. But if I'm frantic and all over the place and my head's spinning, I'm not going to get anything done and I'm not going to be productive. So I'm better off just picking a lane, staying there, and then and switching lanes when need be and stuff. And I can do multiple things, but I need to focus my energy a little better. And my main focus is the business. I obviously have the YouTube, right? There's a couple other projects I'm working on. So, it's hard to balance all that, right? Plus, like, my mental health and physical health, right? And eating right, going to the gym, reading, writing, things of that nature. So it's a lot. Social life, which I have little to none of at this currently, but these are the challenges. These are the sacrifices you got to make. I'm gonna get better with that. I think actually my brother and I are gonna go out tonight and see some friends. We're also going to shoot a video at the Coliseum, which will be cool. That's gonna come soon. I am gonna start making videos probably 3 times a week. I'm starting a new series called Business Breakdown, where I talk about these businesses that I come across. I stumble across here in Rome and stuff, and they might just be ones that all over the world that just pop up into my head. And one day I was going down a rabbit hole on ChatGPT, and I was just asking a bunch of questions about this business I saw when I went to a restaurant. And that's going to be the first video. And I thought that'd be an interesting thing to make a video about, kind of talk about the consumer perspective when it comes to these companies, talk about whether or not I think the model is feasible and if there's a market for it and stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. So obviously, I know this was kind of a brain dump. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and upload a video so that you guys know I'm still kicking and I'm still going to keep grinding away with this stuff. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a little insight as to where my head's at and the approach I'm going to take going forward. So it is what it is. I'm trying to put my perfectionism aside. That's another challenge I've been having. Like, I've been reluctant to record these videos because the situation and the settings aren't perfect. Who cares? I'm just gonna rip them, and whatever happens, happens. So appreciate you guys. I want to show love. One last thing, I want to show love to everybody who's been supporting. My homies are real ones, man. They're real ones from the sandbox. So they're commenting on my videos and stuff. Obviously, my family and things like that. The support is overwhelming. So I know you guys are there. You know what I'm saying? So it means the world, and it motivates me to keep going. So yeah, that's the deal. Stay tuned and keep watching.